Did you know tuberculosis is one of the infectious diseases the world is battling with today? Sadly, millions are being affected by this condition despite it being preventable and treatable. In today's video, we'll be talking about crucial facts about tuberculosis, from the symptoms to the transmission, how it can be prevented, and common myths that should be debunked. So listen carefully so you can protect yourself and others around you. I met a lady and she had complained that she had lost weight. We had done several investigations to find out the possible cause, and we couldn't pick it out. During one of the conversations, I said, "Can we just do a TB test?" And she like, "Oh, doctor, I don't have TB. I'm not coughing." And I'm like, "Let's just do one." Guess what? I saw her days later or weeks probably, and she was like, "Doctor, thank you so much." Guess what? I got a call from the tuberculosis center and they said I was positive for the test. Thank you. I'll be commencing my medications today. And it was a sigh of relief. I encouraged her to commence her medications. So, what if we didn't test for TB? Have you been tested? Go now and test. So, let's get started. Number one, tuberculosis is a contagious disease caused by a bacteria and it can be transmitted from one person to another. Number two, it is spread through the air when someone who is already infected with the condition coughs or sneezes. Particles are spread into the air and the nearest person can inhale it. There are other ways it can be transmitted through blood and through ingestion of unpasteurized milk. Number three, it mainly affects the lungs, and that's what many of us know. But it's important to know that it can affect certain other organs like the brain, some abdominal organs like the kidneys, the liver, and even your backbone, the spine. Yes, tuberculosis can also affect that, and it can affect the womb, the uterus. Okay, so these are other areas that tuberculosis can affect. Number four answers your next question. So who and who can be infected by this disease? Everyone is at risk of getting infected by this bacteria. However, some people have an increased risk, and these are children, babies, newborns, and the aged population. Those are the extreme of ages have an increased risk of coming down with this infection. Those who live in crowded areas, crowded offices, and also those whose immunity has dropped, what we call the immunocompromised people. That's those who are living with diabetes mellitus, conditions like cancer, or are some certain chemotherapy medications that affect the body system. Also, those who are malnourished can come down with this infection. Symptoms of this condition varies depending on the organ that is affected, because many of us know that it affects the lungs. So typically we'll know that chronic cough that is lasting too long, not responding to popular medications, is a popular symptoms. Other symptoms, depending on the location where it is found, it can affect the brain, causing some unconsciousness, convulsions. It can affect the uterus, causing abdominal pain. It can also affect the kidneys, causing some kind of renal failure. It can affect the liver. It can affect the spine, which can cause some form of paralysis. The person is unable to walk. So the symptoms of this tuberculosis depends on the location, the organ this bacteria has affected. Number six, is this condition preventable? Oh yes, a big yes. It is preventable, and you and I have to work together to prevent this infectious disease. And what's your role? Number one, you need to vaccinate your children and even the elderly people. Health workers who have also an increased risk of coming down with this infection need some booster doses sometimes. We talked about crowded areas. It means you should avoid such crowded areas, better housing, better ventilation in our houses. These little things can help us prevent this disease. If you're already living with this condition, please wear face masks, especially if you have the active ongoing disease. And yes, you can get tested today. It's World Tuberculosis Day and you need to be tested. Go to the nearest health facility. Some facilities offer free services, and get yourself tested today. And if by chance you come down with this infection, it's good to know that it is curable. So take your medications, obey the instructions that have been given to you, and in no time you will be free from this infectious disease troubling the nation at this time. I hope I've been able to educate you on this topic. If you have any question, please type in the comment section. And if you're yet to like, please hit the like button. Share this with your friends so that together we can end this tuberculosis infection, and hit the subscribe button so that when next I share a video, you'll be the first to be notified about this. Until I see you again, remain healthy. Catch ya!